Welcome back. In this lesson, we're going to talk about something that can quietly change everything about the way you speak English. Not another long list of grammar rules. Not another vocabulary test. We're going to talk about the one skill fluent speakers use all the time, often without even knowing it, thinking in English. Most learners do the same thing for years. They hear a sentence, translate it into their language, look for the English words, build the sentence in their head, and only then they speak. By that time, the conversation has already moved on. The moment is gone. The confidence is gone. If you're tired of that feeling, stay with me until the end of this video. And if you want more lessons like this every week, go ahead and tap subscribe right now. So this journey doesn't stop today. Let's begin this powerful journey together. Chapter 1. The problem with translating. When I first started learning English, I had a strong habit that slowed me down. Maybe you have the same habit. Before every sentence, I would think in my native language. I would design the perfect sentence there first. Then I would try to translate it into English. In my mind, it looked like this. Think in my language. Search for English words. Build a sentence. Check it again. Finally, speak. By the time I said something, the person in front of me was already waiting. Their eyes were on me. I could feel the pressure. I felt slow. I felt nervous. I felt less than other people. Maybe you know this feeling. You understand a lot. You can read. You can write. But when it's time to speak, everything gets stuck in translation. Then one day I noticed something important. Fluent speakers don't translate. They're not doing math in their head. They're not carrying every sentence from one language to another. They think directly in English. That realization changed everything for me. I made a quiet promise to myself I will train my brain to think in English, even for the smallest things. From that decision, everything else in this journey began. Chapter 2. Start small. Everyday objects. I didn't start with long sentences. I didn't start with difficult grammar. I started with the tiny world right in front of my eyes. Every morning when I woke up, I looked around my room and named the things I saw in English. Bed, pillow, fan, window, sunlight. Sometimes I said them out loud. Sometimes I just whispered. Sometimes I only thought the words in my mind. But I did it every single day. Slowly, those single words grew into simple sentences. I am brushing my teeth. Now I am making tea. It's a beautiful morning. I wasn't trying to impress anyone. No one could even hear me. But something powerful was happening inside my brain. I wasn't memorizing grammar rules. I wasn't filling out exercises. I was building fluency naturally, brick by brick, thought by thought. You can do this too. Wherever you are right now, look around for a moment. There is a chair. There is a phone. There is a cup. Name them in English. Then add life to them. I'm holding my phone. My coffee is getting cold. This chair is really comfortable. These are not small sentences. They are the first steps to thinking in English. And, hey, if this idea is already giving you new motivation, pause for half a second and like this video. It tells the YouTube algorithm, show this to more learners who need it. Chapter 3. Make English your thinking partner. As I kept practicing, I noticed a big truth. If I only used English when I was in class, I would never be truly fluent. I had to bring English into my normal life. Not just when I was speaking to other people, but also when I was speaking to myself. So I made English my thinking partner. Every time I walked somewhere, to the market, to the bus stop, through a busy street, or even just around my room, I started talking to myself in English in my mind. I'm going to the shop now. I think it might rain later. This road is too crowded today. I should buy some vegetables before it gets dark. These were my private thoughts, but I trained myself to say them only in English. At first, it was not easy. Sometimes I didn't know the exact word I wanted, So I used simpler words. If I didn't know the word frustrated, I said, I am not happy with this. This is making me feel bad. And that was okay. The goal was not to sound perfect. The goal was to stay in English. Whenever I caught myself thinking in my native language, I noticed it. I stopped. I took a slow, deep breath, and I restarted the same thought in English. Little by little, my brain began to change. After just a few weeks, I noticed something magical. I was thinking in English without forcing it. I didn't need to push. I didn't need to translate. It just happened. And you know what that felt like? It felt like freedom. Freedom from the pressure. Freedom from searching for every word. Freedom from the fear that my sentence would come out wrong. Thinking in English gave me confidence. It will do the same for you if you treat English not as a school subject, but as a friend who is always with you. Talk to this friend. Think in this friend's language. Let English walk beside you in your everyday life. Chapter 4. Use English in real life wherever you are. For a long time, I believed a common lie. I need to live in an English-speaking country to become fluent. Maybe you believe it too. I must go to the USA, the UK, Canada, Australia. Then I will finally speak well. But here is the truth. You don't have to move to another country to build confidence. You can create your own English world right where you are. Here's what I did. Whenever I went to a restaurant, I looked at the menu and silently read it in English, even if it was written in my language. What do I want to eat? Maybe I'll have rice and vegetables. How much does it cost? I'm feeling hungry. When I walked through the market, I continued, look at those fresh tomatoes. The weather is so hot today. That shop looks interesting. When I watched people talking, I imagined their conversation in English. She is asking for a discount. He is explaining something to his friend. They are laughing about a joke. All of this was happening quietly in my head. No one else could hear it, but my brain was busy learning. Then I added another step. When I was alone in my room, I began speaking to myself softly in English. I had a good day today. Tomorrow I want to finish my project. Let me clean my desk now. It sounded so simple, but these small steps slowly taught my brain English is not just for exams. English is part of my daily life. And then one day, something happened. A tourist stopped me on the street and asked for directions in English. Before I would have panicked, my heart would race, my mind would go blank. But that day, I felt calm. I had already practiced the situation in my mind many times. I gave the directions clearly. The tourist smiled and said, "Your English is good." That moment was a turning point. I realized all those silent thoughts, all those private sentences were not small at all. They were training for real life. So here is your lesson. Don't wait for a perfect opportunity. Create your own opportunities by using English in your daily life, even if no one around you speaks it. You're not just memorizing words, you're building habits. And habits are what lead to fluency. Chapter 5. Practice speaking without fear of mistakes. Let me share something that changed my life. Fear is the biggest enemy of your English. In the beginning, I was scared all the time. Scared that people would laugh at my pronunciation. Scared that my grammar would be wrong. Scared that somebody would correct me in front of others. Scared that I didn't sound intelligent. One day, my teacher told me a sentence that went straight into my heart. The one who speaks even with mistakes will always learn faster than the one who stays silent. Read that again in your mind. Let it sink in. From that day, I made a new rule for my life. I will speak. Mistakes or no mistakes, I will speak. So I started small. At a shop, I said, "1 bottle water, please." The sentence was not perfect, but I spoke. At a bus stop, I asked, "What time bus come?" Again, not perfect, but I was using my voice. I was using my English. Later, I joined a small online English speaking group. There were people from different countries. Nobody was perfect. Some spoke slowly, some forgot words, some mixed grammar. But we all tried. We all made mistakes, and we all learned together. I began to understand something important. Mistakes are not evidence that you are bad. They are proof that you are trying. Every time I made a mistake, I told myself, this is not failure. This is learning. Slowly, I noticed a change. My confidence started to grow. My grammar improved because I was actually using it. My pronunciation became clearer because I said the same words again and again. One day in a hotel, I needed an extra towel. My old self would avoid speaking and just accept the situation. But now I said, "Can I get one more towel, please?" The staff understood me immediately. They smiled and brought the towel. It was such a small moment, but it felt like a victory. So if you truly want to become fluent, here is my advice. Speak every day. Speak in shops, at bus stops, with friends, with strangers, with yourself. Speak when you are ready. Speak when you are not ready. Your mistakes will become your teachers. And one day you will look back at your old self and think, I'm so glad I didn't stay silent. If you agree with this, type in the comments, I will not stay silent. Let that be your promise to yourself and to this community. Chapter 6. Learn from the world around you. At some point, I made a powerful discovery. My classroom didn't have walls. The whole world around me could become my teacher. One day, I was waiting at a bus stop. Instead of scrolling on my phone, I put it away and started to notice my surroundings in English. The bus is late. There are 5 people waiting. The sun is bright today. That boy is eating ice cream. Simple sentences, right? But every simple sentence was a push-up for my brain. Then I took it further. I started paying attention to announcements at train stations and airports. Attention, please. The train is arriving at platform number 3. Flight number 202 is now boarding. In my mind, I repeated them. I tasted the rhythm of the sentences. I imagined myself saying them with confidence. At home, I did the same thing. I opened the fridge and spoke to myself. There is milk, butter, and some fruit. I need to buy eggs tomorrow. The vegetables look fresh. While cooking, I used English. Boil the water. Add some salt. Stir it gently. Wherever I saw English on posters, product labels, shopping bags, medicine bottles, I didn't ignore it. I noticed it, read it, said it out loud or in my mind. I didn't need special books. I didn't need expensive courses. The world itself became my practice ground. One day, as I was walking past a clothing store, I saw a t-shirt with a sentence on it. Make your own way. I read it, and then I asked myself, what does that really mean? Make your own way. Create your own path. Be independent. Don't wait for someone to tell you where to go. That one t-shirt gave me a new phrase and a deep life lesson at the same time. So here's what I suggest for you. Read street signs in English whenever you can. Watch people and quietly describe their actions in English. Look at products you use every day and name them in English. Create your own little English dictionary from the world around you. When you do this consistently, something amazing happens. English stops being just a subject you study. It becomes a language you live. Chapter 7. Turn thinking into speaking. Anytime, anywhere. There is one principle that changed everything for me. If you want to speak English fluently, speak it first in your mind, then with your voice. You don't always need a partner. You don't always need a teacher. You already have a powerful partner with you all the time, your inner voice. But that inner voice needs to speak in English. Here's how I practiced. One morning I woke up and said in my mind, today is a beautiful day. I feel fresh. As I got ready, I continued, I am brushing my teeth. Now I am washing my face. I am wearing my favorite shirt. At first, everything was just happening inside my head. But then I started whispering some of these sentences softly. When I walk to the shop, I am going to buy some vegetables. I hope the market is not crowded. I have some money in my pocket. Nobody really heard me. If they did, they probably thought I was talking on the phone. But I was training my brain. When I was alone at home, I practiced speaking louder. I chose random topics. My favorite food is pasta. Why do I like pasta? Because it is easy to cook and very tasty. I learned to cook it by watching a YouTube video. No grammar books, no memorizing rules, just real, simple speaking the way we speak in our first language. Even when I forgot a word, I didn't stop. If I forgot pillow, I said, that soft thing we keep under our head while sleeping. That's what fluent speakers do in their own language too. They explain what they don't know. They keep the conversation moving. One of my favorite exercises was talking to the mirror. I would stand in front of the mirror, look into my own eyes, and say, "You can do it. You are learning. You are improving. English is your friend." At first, it felt strange and even a little funny, but after just 1 week, I noticed I was more confident. The mirror never judged me. It just listened. Here's a powerful habit you can start tonight. Before you go to sleep, tell the story of your day in English. Today, I woke up at 7. I had tea and toast. I went to the bank. I helped my mother in the kitchen. I watched a movie. Now I feel sleepy. This simple practice trains your brain to review your life in English. Night after night, it becomes more natural. And slowly, your brain starts to think in English automatically. That is the secret. The more you think in English, the faster you speak it. One day, you'll notice you're not translating anymore. You're just speaking. Chapter 8. Real-life practice. From fear to fluency. We often ask ourselves, what if I make a mistake? What if people laugh? What if they don't understand me? Let me tell you something. Every fluent English speaker you know was once a beginner. Every single one. Let me share a story. There was a young man who had taught himself English. He could write well. He could read books and understand movies. But when it came to speaking, he was terrified. One day, he visited a cafe in New York. He wanted to order a coffee. He had one simple sentence ready in his head: 1 black coffee, please. 1 black coffee, please. 1 black coffee, please. He repeated it again and again while waiting in line. When it was finally his turn, he opened his mouth, and everything disappeared. His mind went blank. All that came out was one word: coffee. The lady behind the counter smiled and gently asked, "What kind?" For a second he froze. Then he took a deep breath and said, "Black coffee, please." It wasn't perfect. It wasn't fast, but it was real. And that real sentence gave him real confidence. That small moment started something big. He made a decision that day. Every day I will speak English to at least one stranger. Sometimes it was a waiter, sometimes a bus driver, sometimes a shop assistant. He started with simple greetings. "Hi, how are you?" "Nice weather today." "Where is the bus stop?" Slowly those small sentences grew bigger. "Can you help me find this product? Is this seat taken? Do you know any good restaurant nearby?" Of course he made mistakes. One day, he asked for kitchen instead of chicken. And people laughed, but he laughed too, and he never forgot that word again. He finally understood. Mistakes are not your enemies. They are your teachers. You can do the same. Start with short, friendly sentences. Don't try to sound like a professor. Speak like a friend. Go to a shop and say, "Hello, I'm learning English. Can I ask a question? You'll be surprised how kind many people are when they see your effort. He also used technology to help him. He joined online groups and language exchange apps. He practiced speaking with people from different countries. He even spoke to his pet when no one else was around. The key was simple. He spoke every single day. He recorded himself for 2 minutes every evening. He picked a topic my day, my favorite movie, my dream job, and just talked. At first, it felt strange, and he didn't like his own voice. But after 30 days, he listened to the first recording, and then the latest one. The difference was incredible. His voice sounded clearer. His sentences were smoother. His fear was much smaller. Remember this sentence. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be consistent. Broken English used every day slowly becomes fluent English. Chapter 9. Thinking in English. The real game changer. There is a big reason many learners stay stuck. They keep thinking in their native language and then try to translate. This creates delays. It creates confusion, and sometimes it creates funny or embarrassing mistakes. So what's the real solution? Start thinking in English. It sounds hard, but we can make it simple. The young man from the cafe made one important rule for himself. From today, I will talk to myself in English. He still lived in a small apartment. He still had no English-speaking friends. He still didn't live in an English-speaking country, but he had his mind, so he trained it. When he woke up, he thought, I have to brush my teeth. When he looked at the sky, he thought, the sky is cloudy today. When he cooked, he thought, I am cutting vegetables. Now I'm boiling water. This smells good. At first, it felt slow and unnatural, but after about 3 weeks of daily practice, something changed. English began to appear in his thoughts automatically. Here's what he did to speed up this process. 1. He named everything around him in English. Wherever he was, he looked around and said, this is a table. That is a window. This fan is noisy. It seemed too simple, but it was training his brain to use English for thinking. 2. He asked himself simple questions in English. What do I want to eat? What did I do today? What will I do tomorrow? He didn't just ask. He answered too in English, even if the answers were short. 3. He used the mirror for practice. Every night he stood in front of the mirror and had a small conversation with himself. Hello, how was your day? My day was good. I worked, studied, and cooked dinner. What will you do tomorrow? I will go to the park, meet a friend, and read a book. This mirror practice made him more natural and confident. 4. He used simple English. He didn't try to sound fancy. He didn't chase big, complicated words just to sound smart. He focused on clarity. Instead of saying, the atmospheric condition seems unpredictable, he simply said, the weather is changing a lot. Instead of, I am experiencing emotional turbulence, he said, I feel upset or I feel confused. Fluency is not about big words. Fluency is about expressing your ideas clearly. 5. He surrounded himself with English. He changed the language on his phone to English. He wrote his daily notes and to-do lists in English. He listened to English songs. He watched videos in English. He turned on English subtitles. English stopped being study time. It became part of his daily life. That's how real fluency begins. Not just in a classroom, not just in a textbook, but in your mind. So don't wait for the perfect partner or the perfect place. Make your thoughts your conversation partner. The more you think in English, the faster you'll speak it. And one day, you'll smile and say, I don't translate anymore. I just speak. If you're still here listening, that means you're serious about this. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel and turn on the notification bell. I don't want you to miss the next step of your journey. Chapter 10. The final step to freedom: speak without fear. By this point in his journey, the young man had built some powerful habits. He listened to English every day. He thought in English. He practiced by himself. But there was one final mountain to climb, speaking to real people in real time. He still felt nervous. What if I make a mistake? What if they laugh at my accent? What if I get stuck and can't finish my sentence? These questions live inside many learners' minds. Maybe inside yours too. But he knew that if he wanted real freedom, he had to face those fears. So one day, he took a step that scared him. He joined a small online English-speaking group. It was not perfect. The internet connection was not perfect. The speakers were not perfect. But you know what? No one laughed at anyone else. They all made mistakes. They all understood how it felt. They were all on the same journey. On the first day, he spoke just a few lines. I am learning English. I want to improve my speaking. That was all. And it was enough. The next time he spoke a little more. Then a little more. Every small step broke a small piece of fear. He discovered a simple truth. Mistakes are not your enemy. You cannot improve only by thinking. You cannot grow only by waiting for the right moment. You grow by doing. So he made a new rule. From now on, I will speak English every single day, no matter what. If there was no partner, he spoke to himself. If he felt shy, he spoke anyway. If he made mistakes, he learned from them. This mindset changed everything. He joined voice chats. He recorded himself talking. He asked questions in forums and groups. He even encouraged beginners who were afraid just like he once was. Soon, speaking in English stopped feeling like a big, scary event. It became normal. He could order food, talk to strangers, ask for directions, share opinions, and even make jokes in English. Was he perfect? No. But he was free, confident, fluent enough to live his life in 2 languages. And now it's your turn. Start small, but stay consistent. Listen more, speak more, fear less. Think in English, live in English. Don't chase perfection, chase progress. Speak even when you don't feel ready, because that's how you become ready. You don't need to live in America or London to become fluent. You don't need expensive classes to start. What you need is the right mindset, daily action, and the courage to open your mouth even when your heart is beating fast. So here's your challenge. Today, say at least 5 sentences in English out loud. Talk about your day. Talk about your plans. Talk to yourself, to a friend, to your pet, or to this video in the comments. And then, if this lesson helped you, do 3 things. Like this video so more learners can find it. Subscribe to the channel so you don't walk this journey alone. Write a comment in English starting with, "From today, I will think in English by," and finish the sentence with your own plan. Remember this. Fluency is not a destination you suddenly reach one day. It's a journey you choose to walk every day. Thank you for staying with me until the end. Let's grow together. Let's speak together. Let's win this journey one English thought, one brave sentence at a time.